Science and the truth are being attacked. You have to be asleep not to see that.
We got to get you vaccinated so that if you were to get infected, you could pass it on to them. So you're actually protecting your family by getting vaccinated.
Vaccines, because of the high degree of transmissibility of this virus, don't protect overly well, as it were, against infection.
No, not at all.
Science.
Well, I heard that it doesn't cure it, and it doesn't stop you from getting it.
No.
So
on the very, very, very rare chance that you do get it, even if you're vaccinated.
Dr. Anthony Fauci has tested positive for COVID-19.
Dr. Fauci says he has COVID again.
There are so many things that are egregious misrepresentation here.
It's you don't even feel sick. It's like you don't even know you got infected.
And then over the next day or so, I started to feel really poorly. Not the truth, preposterous.
The people in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot on a vaccination. You all create in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
You take it and then a year goes by and everybody's fine. Then you say, okay, that's good. Now let's give it to 500 people. And then a year goes by and everything's fine. You say, well, then now let's give it to thousands of people. And then you find out that it takes 12 years for all hell to break loose. And then what have you done?
That's what's called science and the truth.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science.
We will know whether or not it actually works. If in fact it does, we hope to rush it to be able to have some impact on recycling in the next season. And like I said, that could be a year to a year and a half. Egregiously incorrect in what he says.
When you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that.
Anybody who's looking at this carefully realizes that there's a distinct anti-science flavor to this.
Who are the heroes who are there in American life today?
I think of Dr. Fauci. Probably never heard of him.
Dr. Anthony S. Fauci.
Who's president? Fauci.
This is my 7th administration.
I have never been muzzled, ever, and I've been doing this since the administration of Ronald Reagan.
The Biden administration is calling me to do everything.
People go to medical school now. It's called the Fauci Effect. Consistency for integrity, for truth.
As I walked into the lobby, people started going like this.
Your Eminence.
Receiving awards like this are wonderful.
I am honored to receive the 2020 Bernard J. Tyson Lifetime Achievement.
This ACLU Bill of Rights. Many congratulations, Tony.
Again, honoring you, sir, with a Service to America medal.
I look forward to you every day.
I'm a Fauci groupie.
Dr. Fauci, I love you.
It's not appropriate right now for him to be posing for the cover of a magazine.
Part of the criticism of him going forward was that he clearly wanted to be a Kardashian.
He's truly in love with himself.
Thank you very much.
Tony Fauci's office. You can see Tony Fauci as a portrait of himself. He also has a Tony Fauci bobblehead. And then he's got a Tony Fauci candle.
I had to maintain my own integrity, as well as my responsibility to the public to tell them the truth. The new things in this administration is if you don't know the answer, don't guess. Just say you don't know the answer. People should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it?
Please wear a mask.
Wearing a mask?
No. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. Get a tighter fit with the second mask.
Is to be very transparent as a public health official.
Now, the former CDC director under Trump, Dr. Robert Redfield, was questioned about Anthony Fauci's mad scramble to conceal the role he and others played.
Do you think that Dr. Fauci intentionally lied under oath to Senator Paul when he vehemently denied NIH's funding of gain-of-function research?
You still trust the Chinese scientists and you still support the research over there.
And if anybody is lying here, Senator, it is you. Idea, I think, is quite far-fetched that the Chinese deliberately engineered something.
What you're observing and speaking of, is this something that would be in line with gain-of-function research and the capabilities it would provide to the virus?
Yeah.
I think there's no doubt that NIH was funding gain-of-function research.
Seems like there has never been a more clear-cut case of some individual lying to Congress.
Elon Musk tweet that his pronouns are prosecute Fauci.
I mean, prosecute me for what?
I think that man belongs in jail.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Without question, Fauci lied about funding the lab.
What are they talking about?
He lied about it being gain of function.
I mean, I wish I could figure out what the heck they were talking about.
And he lied as part of an elaborate cover-up. The cover-up was to cover up his culpability.
So what did Redfield think of the paper that Fauci pressured scientists to write that would conclude ultimately that COVID most likely did not escape from a lab?
When you have a group of people that decide there can only be one point of view, that's problematic. And I'll keep going saying it's antithetical to science.
So if they get up and criticize science, nobody's going to know what they're talking about. But if they get up and really aim their bullets at Tony Fauci, well, people could recognize there's a person there, so it's easy to criticize. But they're really criticizing science, because I represent science.
It's antithetical to science.
Thank you.
Science has debate, and they squashed any debate.
It makes me very uncomfortable to have to say something, but he is egregiously incorrect in what he says. Thank you.
History will figure that out on its own.